Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from on tonight's webinar. You know, these are so important to get this education out there so people can not only understand how the NHT Global products work, but also, how our bodies work. And it's been truly amazing to get a lot of the feedback from everyone that tells us how helpful that these are. So thank you for telling us that and for being on our webinars. This is what Dr. Chris and I absolutely love to do. And our culture has really moved away from nature. We have our processed foods, we have the concrete jungles, we have our electronics, we have so many more things that have kept us from really truly being connected to nature. And the further that we remove ourselves from nature, the more it affects us, because we are energy. Everything is energy, and especially our bodies. We are energy beings. And when we can come to understand that, you'll first of all know then why we created StemRenu, because of the energetics behind it, but also the ability to connect with nature when we take StemRenu. So welcome, and again, thanks for joining us. A couple of weeks ago, we discussed some of the issues about waste when we spend our money on synthetic vitamins and those processed foods. And we talked about, some of the things that it does to our bodies. So there's more evidence, definitely, and tonight's topic is about the wisdom of nature and how it works with StemRenu. Dr. Chris, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to take it from here.
Thank you, Tina. It's great to be here. As you said, that we just love doing these webinars, and education is so critical to helping people understand and to really know how to make the best choices for their lives. And as you see, StemRenu is a unique formula. It's introducing regenerative properties of nature's gifts, and this is why we call it regenerative medicine, renewal science. And it also has many of the replenishment nutrients that support the functions in the body that we've come to learn about high quality supplementation. So all of this is possible due to the organic sourcing. Ingredients matter versus the inorganic sourcing that you see in our conventional food and pharmaceutical industries. So we refer to these functional foods as medicinal foods, pharma foods. They have a pharmacological effect even though they're from nature, because they're so powerful. And they're so different than the denatured processed foods that we are exposed to. And Tina, I just couldn't agree more. It's this disconnect with nature that's probably one of the greatest stressors that accelerates our aging process. So we're just going to help you learn how to reconnect, and StemRenu is one great way to do that. So how do we undo this stress and this disconnect that's occurred? Well, we are introducing a formula that essentially, many have referred to it as the fountain of youth. I mean, we've heard this from the doctors that have learned of our technology. So the fountain of youth in the body is their stem cells. These are the cells that have the ability to differentiate into any other type of tissue. And while they do that, they also replicate and create another stem cell of their own, so that it replenishes the bank of stem cells. So it is this fountain of youth if we know how to support it and make it work.
Which is truly important, because as we age, that bank of stem cells can become depleted. And
Right.
So when we have the ability to replicate and make that stem cell again, we keep that bank going.
Exactly. The receptor sites on the cell, the regenerative capabilities of the cell, the stem cell, start to be lost as we age. And if we can find a way, which we feel we have in nature, to regenerate and repair that whole process, we maintain that fountain of youth. And that's what's so exciting. So here's the secret. Tonight we're going to share our intention behind this formula and what we've experienced that's working because of this design. It's the ingredients in StemRenu that are of the highest quality and nutrient density available anywhere in the world. And we say that because there's some of these ingredients are only available in specific parts of the world or through specific processes, manufacturing processes. And we've sought them out, we've studied them, and we've put them together in the right proportion and the right ratio. So you're looking at a formula designed to optimize the body's renewal and regenerative capabilities with these one-of-a-kind ingredients. So let's take a look at how that works, because this fountain of youth, the stem cell, starts out, first of all, it's being made in our bone marrow. So when you look at this formula, one of its key components is a marine mineral complex that is designed to build your bones. Not only is it designed, but it's proven clinically. You can tell others that you're sharing the StemRenu with that the mineral complex is a very unique formula that, or ingredient, that is the only one that's clinically proven not to just slow down the bone degeneration, but actually reverse it. We've seen DEXA scans in 1-year studies and also 7-year studies with this unique mineral complex. So when you're building healthy bones, guess what? The bones, the big bones, house the bone marrow, and that means you're supporting the factory of the stem cells in your body, because that's where the stem cells are made. They're made from the bone marrow. So making the bones too is a very unique process, that it's just not calcium. And it's a whole orchestration of minerals and hormones, and we supply the full spectrum of minerals to support healthy bone reconstruction. And that's why you not only see high calcium and magnesium concentrations, but you have the 70+ trace elements that are in this marine complex. So it's very, very special and unlike anything else in the world. And Tina, it's harvested in a pristine natural preserve off the South American coast, and nothing, what's key, there's no extraction process, there's no additives, it's just pure and clean. So we say it's wild crafted from one of the purest regions in the world.
And you bring up a really good point here. All calcium is not the same.
Right.
When we look at our culture today, calcium is included in orange juice. It's in, everything is calcium fortified, and those calciums are not exactly the right calcium that we need, because what happens is those come from rock. That's a rock calcium. And a lot of times we are over-calcified. The body has too much calcium. And what happens
when
is
it's not absorbed.
When it's not absorbed. And so what happens is with that type of calcium, it'll hang out in the joints, in the tissue. It also hurts the kidneys, And so a lot of times we find that people say, well, I get my calcium in all my calcium fortified foods. Well, that, just keep in mind, is not the calcium that you need. It's the like the algae cal, the one that we are going to get from this pure plant source that's going to allow us to absorb it, because it's 97% bioavailable, and that's really key. So it's not how much calcium you take, it's the type of calcium that you take.
You got it. Ingredients matter. You're going to hear that from us over and over.
Exactly.
In this next slide, we talk about another phenomenal ingredient. And we all know about the aloe vera, how just it's known throughout history as being a health formula, health herb, health plant. And but we have to share with you, our aloe is like no other aloe on the planet, because it is exactly almost identical to fresh aloe vera in its ability to heal and repair. And aloe vera, very few people realize it's the gel that we're looking for these healing components. And that's where, again, understanding the plant, understanding how to grow it, where it's grown on the volcanic soils, it's organic, rich soils that produce it. And also the extraction process is there's no chemical extraction at all. So you have this incredible ingredient that's concentrated and enhanced. And we just went through a review process for opening up into Taiwan with StemRenu, and one of their questions was, "Does your aloe have aloin in it?" It's ALOIN, and that's a component that's found in the leaf, and that's a very irritating component. Many people have an allergy to aloe vera because of aloin. Many people don't understand that when aloe is used as a laxative, it's that component that causes irritation to your intestines, and you eliminate or have bowel movement because of the irritation that comes, and that's what's in the leaf, not in the gel. So when someone says, "Well, we have whole leaf aloe and they just have the gel," well, we don't want the whole leaf. We want just the again, the pharma foods, the medicinal foods, the components that really activate this process that we're working with.
Yeah, and I think really to truly help people understand is that it is bioavailable. And the chemical, you mentioned that we don't use chemicals on the extraction process. And what's really important to understand here is that this aloe vera that we use, along with the other ingredients, really activates this process of the stem cells. And it's going to be really, Dr. Chris, go into more of that. Yeah.
Exactly, and this is why the title of our talk is The Wisdom of Nature. You saw in the first ingredient, the bone, the mineral component, that has the synergy of all those minerals to build the bone. So that's the synergy that comes with nature and natural products, because how they're designed in nature, they're designed for us as well. And the same applies with the aloe. The aloe has immune modulatory capabilities. But one of the key components the reason we used it in this formula is because you're building healthy bones to make good stem cells available, and the aloe polymannans have the ability to mobilize our stem cells. So now we're releasing them from the bone marrow, we're putting them into the bloodstream, we're making them available. So now you see this process of providing the good, healthy components to make the stem cell, and now we're mobilizing them. And this is one of the key components to this aloe vera gel extract that we use. So let's talk about a little bit more about how nature and its wisdom with this natural substance. You have anti-inflammatory properties. So, inflammation is critical to saving our lives. It's one of the ways that our immune system attacks foreign substances, but you have to be able to turn off the inflammation. So you have shark cartilage and the aloe vera that has immune modulation with the inflammatory process. It turns it on more efficiently when it's needed, and it turns it off because it has the components. So you're looking at formulas that have both a gas pedal and a brake, and they know when to use them appropriately. So you're driving the body through its dynamic processes with these natural substances. You have the green tea extract and the medium chain polysaccharides that's in the aloe vera that has these incredible antioxidant properties. And you can't give too much because you shut down the oxidative process, and you have to give just enough to regulate it. So again, here's this, getting it from nature is so different from a drug. A drug can't interfere with, it doesn't know how to create that balance, but a natural substance has the ability to regulate when to turn it on, when to turn it off.
It's interesting because our bodies naturally create an inflammatory process, and we oxidize. Even when we exercise, we're told that we need to exercise, right? Well, what happens when you exercise? You have inflammation, you create oxidative stress. When we eat food, just the byproduct of eating actually creates oxidation in the body. So it's really important to be able to counterbalance those with the ingredients in StemRenu.
Exactly. So one day I think we'll do one of our webinars just on the immunotherapies with these ingredients. But if you look at the fourth one there, you look at the egg extract, you look at the green tea, and you look at the very long chains, the large chains of the polysaccharides that create immune modulation. And what we mean by immune modulation on this level is the ability to help the body when it's totally shut down as far as the immune system is too weak and doesn't have the ability to go after abnormal cells or microbes and things like that, or when it's not when it's overactive and you're creating autoimmune conditions like the arthritides, like the lupus and multiple sclerosis. You hear about autoimmune diseases. Well, that's an immune system that's overactive, and it's defined as the immune system attacking you. Well, these ingredients have the ability to turn on the immune system when it's too weak and shut it down when it's too strong. So again, the beauty of nature and its ability to modulate, to be able to balance and do all the wonderful things that we're looking to do. And here we have the amazing avian egg. This is the ingredient. This is what really sparked our interest in designing a formula that not only help make healthy stem cells, mobilize those cells, but activate those cells.
This is truly the golden egg.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And one of the easiest ways to explain how it works, it reduces stress. And we just can't stress that enough about how important it is to when you reduce stress in the body, you're helping the body handle its environment and essentially slow down the aging process.
Great point. In that the further we get away from nature, the more stress we put on our bodies. So we all know that a walk at the beach or going into the forest or just going into, hugging a tree, whatever it is that we do in nature can truly help dissipate stress, right? And that's because we're in nature. But again, we're so far removed from being able to do that on a daily basis. Most people that this is now something that you can take to help reduce that stress.
Oh, and it's so important because, again, here's the modulating effect of being able to handle stress. We know it can reduce stress because we've done the clinical studies that show the stress marker, which is cortisol, is reduced according to your stress levels. The greater the stress, the greater the cortisol is reduced. But a lot of individuals are so stressed that they don't even make cortisol, which again, just like inflammation, you need to stay alive, and you need cortisol to handle a stressful event. But when it's exhausted, when it's been overdone, this has the ability to build back the adrenals so that you can make cortisol. So again, it's a natural ingredient, and that allows the body to use it for amping things up when they're too slow and bringing things down when they're too high.
Adrenal fatigue. Most of you have heard about that or on this webinar, and that's what Dr. Chris is talking about.
So here, I love this next slide because this is telling you why this egg is the golden egg. This is, the egg when it's first laid and you break it open, it's breakfast food. So on that first day, we all have seen the egg, whether it's scrambled or fried or poached or boiled. We know how incredible protein it really is. But once we start to incubate that egg, first it's fertilized, and then it starts to incubate. So the fertilization process turns that egg into a stem cell, and it starts to duplicate itself. And also it starts to develop signal molecules in order to orchestrate the functions and create life. So those stem cells are directed to make kidneys and lungs and nervous systems and all the different parts of the body and the systems that it's connecting. And so those regulatory signals are what we're looking for when we incubate this process.
Well, and you look at, I love this visual because at day one, we're looking at a raw egg, but at 21 days from a fertilized, incubated egg, you can see that there's life. There's life also at day one, but when you look at this chicken, it was so important for us to really understand when we were working with the Norwegian doctor that by the 10th day, what happens when that egg is fertilized and incubated by the 10th day, there are so many growth factors or signal molecules. Those two terms are interchangeable. Those growth factors are highly concentrated. And that's what Dr. Chris is talking about. They're so concentrated that all of a sudden, they're directing that egg to become the chicken. So we're able to get those growth factors, and they're not species specific. In other words, we can take them. They're signal proteins that our body can recognize, and that's what's key to activating our dormant stem cells, the ones that have been kind of sleeping.
Exactly, and the fact that they're pre-embryonic, they have the ability to create life, as Tina was just saying. And we've studied the egg cycle to the point where after the 10th day, those signals are mature, and then they're infused into the embryo, and then that's when they start to develop all the systems, the organs and the systems. So we capture them just before they're infused into that embryo. And this is what those signal molecules look like. The signal molecules that are coming from the allo, the signal molecules that are coming from the egg extract. These are two slides that show the surface of a cell. It's like a cross section, and those little receptor sites, those little fingerlings that are coming out from the cell. There's hundreds, thousands of them that come from the cell surface. They grab those signals attach, and then they communicate inside and generate more signals that facilitate the activation of the genes, the expression of the healthy genes, and turn off the unhealthy genes. Because you're creating, these are signals that create life. And when you're creating life, you're creating a vibrant, wonderful, incredible entity that allows you to be healthy and strong as soon as you're born. And these are health signals. They're regenerating signals. They're renewal signals. And they have the ability, again, as nature does, to turn off the bad ones and turn on the good ones. So this is what we're looking at, because you look at science today in medicine, and you see how surgeries are done in the embryonic stage, and the body is so regenerative it doesn't even leave a scar. And when you do fetal surgery and things like that, and that's because those signal molecules are there to regenerate tissue. The stem cells are most active, and we are capturing these incredible signals that aren't available in any other substance that we've been able to find anywhere in the world. So we have a very special process that captures these very unique hen eggs. And once they're fertilized, they go through this incubation cycle, and then on the 10th day, we capture these incredible signals and freeze dry them, and that's it. There's no chemicals added. There's just everything's done to make sure we maintain this unique process. So when you look at what these signals can do, they regenerate the body. They have the ability to create youth. That means robust organs, rapid tissue growth that's healthy and not out of control, wounds that heal more rapidly, less inflammation, less scarring. These are the things that we hear from people that are taking StemRenu.
Right, and building collagen and having, when we look at the emotions and the emotional body, it's about being in balance emotionally as well, because it helps the stress hormone, which is that cortisol, to bring that back into balance as well.
So these are ingredients that are foods that can be taken by individuals of all ages. And when you're up there in your years, your organs are frail. Aging causes frail organs. It causes faster tissue breakdown. The wounds heal much more slowly. You have more inflammation throughout the body. And when you can reverse these conditions, you have the miracle of life. And if you see there, we've got the little emblem of the Nobel Prize winning, the medal. And the reason we have it there is to show you that this is what we're sharing with you today shouldn't be taken for granted, because we're introducing into the body the incredible signaling capabilities that it has. And one of the most recent Nobel Prizes in medicine was given for understanding how a molecule converts itself. So what we mean is when hydrogen and oxygen come together, that makes water, okay? We know that, but we've never been able to see that happen because it happens so fast. And a Nobel Prize was given because a scientist captured a molecular function and understood that it happens in 1/100000th of a 1/1,000,000,000th of a second. So that shows you the incredible technology that nature is putting into our body when we take StemRenu. We're activating immune responses of making macrophages turn on and clean up the body. We're facilitating the genetic expression to make proteins, to make other cells. And all of these things happen in 1/10000000th of 1/1,000,000,000th of a second. And now it's been validated and the Nobel Prize has been given. So when we say, what it means when you take a amino acid like arginine and it turns into growth hormone, that's a molecular change. When you take something like tryptophan and it turns into serotonin, an incredible neurotransmitter and hormone in the body, that's the miracle of life. And we've learned how to capture some of nature's most powerful ingredients that facilitate this incredible molecular dance that goes on in the body. So we're so excited to have this technology and its ability to orchestrate the other incredible formulas from NHT. These are the building blocks that StemRenu orchestrates and fortifies. And when you take a natural approach, we know the body has the ability to heal itself, but you've got to give it, the building blocks that it's looking for, and you've got to give it the direction that it needs in order to use those building blocks. So it's not like a drug that suppresses symptoms. It's food that has the ability to activate this modulating dynamics and things that we want to do. We eliminate toxins more efficiently rather than introduce a toxic substance that has a side effect. We improve the quality of life. We slow down accelerated aging. We reverse it in many cases rather than just kind of blocking a symptom that reflects the aging process. We build a healthy terrain which creates an immunity to all things versus putting more poisons in and taking this militaristic view of medicine where we have to do a drug to kill a microbe or to burn
chemicals
poison,
burn and cut,
cut, right? So this natural approach is what we've been trained in, and we're fortunate enough to have been introduced to some very unique ingredients that allow us to create this remarkable formula that's available from NHT, and only NHT, because this aloe is unique, this egg is unique, this mineral or wild-crafted mineral is unique, and
you will not find it at any other formula in this combination.
Exactly.
Or concentration.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Tina, this has been a great call for me, and I just hope individuals can just appreciate the technology that we've been given to share with the world here today. So next week we're gonna get into joint health and really start to expand a little bit more on this immune modulation capabilities that we introduce into the body and the actual other building blocks that the NHC products have to provide joint health.
Great, great. Yes, next week we'll talk about pain, inflammation, and joint health. So come join us next Tuesday. And thank you everyone for being on tonight's webinar. And we hope this has been very helpful for you. Take care. Bye for now.